Hey y'all, welcome and welcome back to Black Desiderium, where we dive deep into classic Black TV shows and cinema. Today we're exploring a lesser known entry from the 2002 reboot of The Twilight Zone. Another Life. This episode dives into identity, illusion, escapism, and the psychological breakdown of a man who has it all. Or so he thinks. Before we get started, make sure to like the video, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you never miss a breakdown like this. Another Life first aired on February 5th, 2003, as a part of the 2002 through 2003 revival of The Twilight Zone, hosted by the great Forrest Whitaker. This is my favorite reboot of The Twilight Zone. Unlike the original Rod Serling series, this reboot tried to blend social commentary with psychological sci-fi in a contemporary setting. At its core, Another Life follows Marvin Gardens, played by the great Wood Harris, a successful and famous rapper who seems to have everything: wealth, fame, a loving wife, a young son, and a beautiful mansion. Side note, Marvin Gardens is most famously known as the yellow property on the Monopoly board game, based off the real-life neighborhood located in Jersey Shore. It's the most expensive yellow property in Monopoly land, and I always found that interesting that they named this character after that. Everything seems to be on the up and up until weird things start happening. Out of nowhere, Marvin begins having terrifying, vivid experiences of himself in a dark interrogation room. In these visions, he's beaten and accused by police of killing a cop in a world where he's not himself. Every time it happens, he snaps back into his comfortable life, only to have that experience repeat, escalate, and blur that line between what's real and what's not. What makes this episode twisted is how it plays with identity and self-illusion. Marvin insists the visions are just stress, pressure from finishing his album, and refuses to face the possibility that there's something deeper going on. He even talks to a psychologist, Dr. Sinclair, but blames everything on stress. Every time he tries to ignore or suppress these visions, they only get worse. And the interrogations always put him in a world where everyone knows him as someone else named Dwayne, a figure he doesn't recognize at all. Each vision of interrogation is chaotic, emotional, and brutal, and it always ends with him gasping awake back in his real life. The interrogation reality starts to feel more real than his own life. At one point, Marvin snatches away his son's toy gun in fear, not because he thinks his son will hurt anyone, but because it triggers his trauma about guns and violence from his past. This detail is small, but it shows a psychological unraveling. Marvin is starting to mix triggers, memories, and fears in a way that pulls him further from stable reality. Here's where it gets Twilight Zone creepy. Finally, Marvin is seen unconscious in a dark room. His alter personality, Dwayne, lies motionless, with police declaring his mind broken and his body limp. Then the twist: the real shooter is arrested, meaning the crime he was accused of never happened. And the crazy part? A detective who mirrors his wife in an alternate world finds Marvin's lyrics on a piece of paper next to Dwayne's body. Everything in the dark interrogation world turns out to be from his own creation, his dreams, fears, guilt, and aspirations. So what's the point here? This episode poses a chilling question. What if our dreams or illusions are better or more honest reflections of ourselves than our real lives? Marvin created not just a fantasy, but a whole internal world where his fears, suppressed memories, and identity conflicts play out. Is this a mental breakdown, an alternate reality, or a metaphor for chasing success while running from your past? That's exactly the kind of vagueness the Twilight Zone thrives on. Another Life is a psychological twist that feels like a nightmare. At first glance, it's a sci-fi mystery, but underneath it all is a human story about guilt, identity, and what we believe to be real. If you enjoyed this breakdown, let me know in the comments. What do you think the ending really means? And what episode should I analyze next? Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. See you in the next breakdown in the Twilight Zone.
For Dwayne Grant, aka Marvin Gardens. Justice was just an illusion. I'm in the sight. So he escaped into an illusion of his own making. Dwayne Grant living out his dreams in the Twilight Zone.